bushes where this guy was is a AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off.
I'm not gonna reach. Give me an officer, another officer come out, I'll reach for it. I'm not gonna reach. I got guns on me, and my stuff is in. Where my...
know if you do not present your license, you're also in violation of your concealed carry.
Okay, I'm not gonna reach for my license because my gun is where my purse is.
This is what we're gonna do. Just to make you feel comfortable, I'm gonna wait for another unit to get.
Please do that. Thank you.
Go
okay, thank you.
Otherwise, I have to have you follow me to the station because you're not presenting your license. And there's a possibility your vehicle can be towed.
You just said we're waiting on the officer. There's nothing else for me to say at that moment.
I'm telling you right
I know,
now,
but you've already said it.
you have to give me your license.
I'm not gonna reach. Give me an officer, another officer come out, reach.
We begin with breaking news tonight. Former President Donald Trump is safe and well after what the FBI is calling an apparent second attempted assassination. Just before 2 o'clock this afternoon, gunshots rang out in the vicinity of the former president while he was golfing on his West Palm Beach golf course. NBC News reports that Mr. Trump was immediately rushed to safety. The Secret Service fired at the suspect who drove off in an SUV. However, authorities caught up with him. The suspect is now in custody. The FBI just wrapped up a news conference saying they have every resource behind this investigation to figure out what exactly happened.
We deployed a number of resources, including investigative teams, crisis response team members, bomb technicians, and evidence response team members as well. What we need right now is for the public to avoid the area around the golf course.
And take a look at this. Investigators recovered an AR-style rifle with a scope in the bushes where the suspect was first spotted, but authorities could not yet confirm whether that is in fact the weapon that the suspect fired. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris responded to the incident, writing on X, quote, "I have been briefed on reports of gunshots fired near former President Trump and his property in Florida, and I am glad that he is safe. Violence has no place in America." We will have more on this developing story as we get it, and special coverage coming up on NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
All right.
whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. All right, what's going on, family? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Smash up the like, smash up the like, smash up the likes. We are live, and I'm coming at you with 5. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is the hottest live stream in the cosmos of social media. If you're watching via Facebook, Rumble, X, or YouTube, welcome, welcome, welcome. I need you, please, especially all my followers, I want you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Share this. As you know, YouTube has us on a bit of a shadow ban, so we try to push the videos through the algorithm. As we are discussing, obviously, the big news that happened today. You know, I was actually going to come in and talk about Shannon Sharp a little bit, because you know Shannon Sharp did that sex tape, got that restitution, but never got fired from ESPN. Skip, I still get that money, but your ass is retired, especially when you save me in the Hall of Fame. But you know, I was going to talk about that. Yeah, that's been going on. That's crazy. So he got caught talking country while getting some action. But obviously, this is the big news that's happened today. Donald Trump, the former president, has survived an apparent second assassination attempt. According to reports that were read by CBS, the former president was golfing on his resort at the Trump International Golf Course, which is in West Palm Beach, Florida. If anybody's familiar with it, that's his Mar-a-Lago resort. That's on the eastern side of Florida. And apparently there was some shots that were fired, according to reports from CBS, at about 1:30 p.m. Now, we have a press conference I'm going to be showing clips and pieces of. There has been a suspect that has been identified. I don't see his picture in the major news, although courtesy of Twitter, they have a picture up, but I'm a little hesitant to show it because I want to make sure it's the right person. But the man has been identified who allegedly took shots at the former president or was shooting on the golf course, has been identified as Ryan Wesley Roth, 58 years old, from Hawaii, according to the New York Post. They say that Roth frequently touted his do-gooder credentials and championed left-wing causes on social media. This is the New York, and I'm not a fan of the New York Compost heap, but they do have their information together. They do. I'll give them that. But yeah, this happened at Trump International Golf Club, and sheriff's office, they've actually held a press conference. They identified the shooter about 50 minutes ago. And what they also stated is Trump has, you know, as a former president, his security detail has been scaled back, but they do, and they're starting to put, and they're required to, Secret Service is required to put a Secret Service agent on a former president. Also on anybody running for president. Bobby Kennedy Jr. actually had to have one after the assassination attempt. They had announced that they were going to put one on for him. As of course, you know, his father, Bobby Kennedy Sr., 56 years ago, was assassinated at the Ambassador Hotel out in Los Angeles, supposedly by Sirhan Sirhan. But of course, I don't believe that, and that's a separate story. But nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and show this clip video. This is from the press conference. So this is the sheriff speaking, and the sheriff's name, I have his information here. This is Oh man, I had this up. I'm sorry. Okay. This is Martin County. This is the Martin County Sheriff, but this is Sheriff Rick Bradshaw. So we're gonna go ahead and this play. This is like a 10-minute press conference. So hold on.
1:30 this afternoon, call came out, shots fired. That was called in by the Secret Service.
Fair use.
Because we're in constant contact with them all the time. We were notified of that, and we had units here that immediately sealed off the area. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said,
I got to cut a little bit because I don't want them to give me a copyright
and I took a picture of the vehicle and the
from
tag.
the news. But this is fair use. All of this is obviously for news and education purposes, so there shouldn't be a problem with a copyright strike. YouTube,
which was great. So we had that information. Our real-time crime center put it out to the license plate readers. And we were able to get a hit on that vehicle on I-95 as it was headed into Martin County. We got a hold of Martin County Sheriff's Office, alerted them, and they spotted the vehicle and pulled it over and detained the guy. After that, we took the the witness that witnessed the incident, flew him up there, and he identified as the person that he saw running out of the bushes and jumped into the car. Now, in the bushes where this guy was is an AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off. So that's what we know about the investigation. We have somebody in custody right now that is a potential suspect. We got a little bit more work to do on it, but as we usually do, as soon as we decide that we're going to book him into the county jail and the charges that he's going to be booked into, we'll get those to you and we'll get a picture of him and we'll get you his background. So now I'm going to turn it over to the representative of the Secret Service, and he's going to make a brief statement.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So let me just stop right there. So they said they engaged the suspect. They apprehended him. Now, he wasn't shot or killed like the previous suspect in the assassination attempt that happened back in July. If you recall, that person was sent to the shadow realm instantly by the Secret Service snipers that were on there. So what we have here is a second attempt on the former president's life. That was, and of course, that incident happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. Danielle says she's got a lot of questions. Of course, a lot of people, I'm sure, have questions about the timing of this all. I can tell you and assure you all, especially it hasn't happened in recent times. Obviously, when I was a kid growing up, I didn't hear of any attempts on a United States president, but it is not uncommon. Especially it wasn't uncommon in the earlier days when the presidency, and even in the 60s and 70s, as you all know, for there to be assassination attempts on a president's life. Gerald Ford even had someone who tried to assassinate him. Ronald Reagan had an assassination attempt back in 81. So it is not impossible. It can happen. I'll give it that much. Now, who could be working it and so forth? Is there a larger conspiracy? That is another question. But let's go ahead and let's finish this press conference.
I first want to thank all of our law enforcement partners, to include the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and the Martin County Sheriff's Office, for their involvement today. Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed following a protective incident shortly before 2 p.m. on Sunday at Trump International Golf Club at West Palm Beach. The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line, and this matter is under investigation. I'll turn it over to my partners over at the FBI.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Veltri. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Miami field office. The FBI has assumed the role as the lead federal law enforcement agency in the investigation of the incident that occurred earlier today at Trump International Golf Course here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We've deployed a number of resources, including investigative teams, crisis response team members, bomb technicians, and evidence response team members as well. What we need right now is for the public to avoid the area around the golf course. We will continue to support this investigation with the full resources of the FBI. alongside our partners with the United States Secret Service and the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, as well as Martin County Sheriff's Office and state and local law enforcement. I would ask that if anyone has any information that may assist with this investigation, to contact our tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI or at tips, that's TIPS, .FBI.gov.
I got a dirty mind. I thought he was saying something else. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Dave Ehrenberg, State Attorney for Palm Beach County. I want to thank Sheriff Bradshaw and our
Well,
partners at
everybody
local, state, and
thinks-
federal levels. I'm here because our prosecutors are currently working up warrants and a motion for pretrial detention for the suspect. In that way, he will be kept in custody. But our filing of these warrants and charges at the state level does not preclude federal charges that could be coming. But in the meantime, it looks like the warrants and the pretrial detention motion will happen first. And again, I want to thank the cooperation we've had with our federal partners and at the local level. And thank you all for being here today.
Okay, we're going to make these pictures available to you. It'll show you a picture of the backpack and the rifle. And there's also a GoPro on the fence there where he was intent on filming what was going on. Even though we're going to have to secure a couple areas around the golf course here, the public doesn't need to panic. We know that we got a post office, a library, and a school down the street. So we'll make it convenient for you to get to all the places you need to go. Get your kids to school, get them over here to the post office or wherever else you need to go. It's safe. There's no more danger here, and we'll make it very convenient for you. So having said that, we're going to take a very limited amount of questions, and you can direct them to who you want to answer the question.
Sure. Did this individual make any statement that he was being detained?
No statement right now as far as his involvement in the incident, and there's further investigation to be completed.
What was his demeanor?
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe it's the first time I answered. I misunderstood, but understand there was a rifle. Some of our agents saw on the golf course saw a rifle pointing to a fence with a chain. Okay, so he saw that. He did.
That is correct, yes.
The president or president was on the course behind him. How close?
It was 1 or 2 holes behind. That because the bubble moves through the golf course, so our agents will get there first, clear it. He noticed that the rifle was pointed out. Our agents engaged. We are not sure right now if the individual was able to take a shot at our agents, but for sure our agents were able to engage with the police. I
That doesn't appear so.
How far away was the president? How far away was Donald Trump when this gentleman was caught in his house?
Probably between 300 and 500 yards, but with a rifle and a scope like that, that's not a long distance.
How far was your agent from the city?
That I'm not sure right now. We're still looking into.
Reports of the 4 rounds they condition fired. All 4 of your agents?
That is correct. 4 to 6. We're not sure.
Was there a long distance?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
How was it able to happen? And for future reference, is there any obscurity involved?
I didn't hear that. Say that one more time and talk up a little bit.
So how was this able to happen? And for future reference, is there any obscurity of the golf course?
Well, you got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery. So when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right. And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the city president.
Right.
If he was, we would have had this entire golf course surrounded.
So what the sheriff is saying here, we would have had the entire golf course surrounded. Obviously, Trump's, and that's what I was stating earlier, Trump's detail is not the same, obviously, due to the fact that he is, let me put my handsome face on here. Obviously, because he's a former president. However, I can technically buy that because even if it is scaled back, usually with a former president, they are still entitled to Secret Service protection. The other thing we have to figure out is, now Florida is a pro-gun state, and this is not an attack on guns. If he was in the shrubbery, was there any witnesses, anybody that spotted something, that saw something in particular? How far was he from the president? They said 300 to 500 yards away. So that's roughly, let's just say, 3 football fields, because a football field is about, or an NFL football field is about 100 yards. Let's just put it that way. Now, what's going on, Van? Vahan is back. I ain't seen you in a while, brother. How you been? Trying to be. We came on at a good time. I'm seeing the old crew here. Come on, guys. I need y'all to please smash up a like here on YouTube, on X. Smash up some likes, please, please, please. More, the merrier. We're trying to go viral. They did not get him. Yeah, they got the suspect. Now, I don't want to put his image. There's a purported image of the guy up. I don't want to put it up because, number one, I can't confirm if it's him or not. I know the brother, shout out to Sir Major. Sir Major has a purported picture of the guy up. Doesn't look like a 58-year-old. The guy actually looks like he's a little younger. I got to say the least. But at the same time, I'm not going to put it up, but if you go on X, Sir Major has a purported picture of the man outside. Looks like he's got his hands up. There are some videos he even has. I'll play a little bit of it. But what you're hearing basically is, yeah, they got the guy. Now, he hasn't been formally, according to what I've read, he's in custody. So he has not been booked formally as of yet. Probably will happen. It's in the process of happening right now. But this is the second assassination attempt that they've had on the president. And it looks like, hold on a second, computer robot, she's sending me two pictures I can't even read. I don't know what you were sending to me. But Ralph, okay, so we can go to his X account because Ralph apparently has an X that's been set up. And they, from the New York Post, I'm quoting them, put this up. This is the Ryan Ralph. Hold on. This is the Ryan Ralph that I saw. Someone said you're down on YouTube. YouTube has shut me down. Bastards. All right. That is supposedly Ryan Roth. That's his X account. That's and I'm just gonna act out because that's what that has here. And when I was quoting the New York Post, they actually had this up here when you go to the hyperlink, and I clicked on it. So this is actually coming from where I went to was the New York Post article. Thank you, Michelle. So this is the second. So yeah. If you go to the New York Post, they have this here. These are pictures from. These are pictures that were taken out in Florida, in West Palm Beach, where they were outside the golf course. Those are photographs of the purported rifle and a backpack with a GoPro, which would mean that this person was supposedly going to be filming this. Now, of course, this comes after. I wonder if the guy is a Swiftie. You damn Swifties, because Trump said he hated Taylor Swift. I don't know if y'all saw that, because Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, on the other day after I believe it was after the debate. And she endorsed him, but now people are reacting against her. Same thing with Caitlin Clark. There's a lot of white folks who really were supporting Caitlin Clark because she represented identity politics for them, for stuff that they could do. But then when she doesn't endorse their candidate, people got mad and switched. Now, I have stated before, I am not voting for Kamala Harris. I don't support her. Now, I don't really tell people who I'm voting for or not, but a lot of people may think that I was endorsing or I'm voting for Trump. I don't really tell people that. And part of the reason I don't say that is because, well, who you vote for is your business. That's first of all. I don't have a shame in it. But, now, back in the day, and even in my time, I'm saying it like I'm old. I'm not, damn. But as a kid growing up, I should say, even in the 90s and 2000s, now, you didn't pay attention to politics so much and so forth, but I knew, especially when it was election season, nobody really asked someone who they were voting for, like talking about it. You didn't ask a person who you vote for because that was just considered private. Voting wasn't something that you brag. They didn't have social media back then, so obviously nobody didn't have a voice where you could hear anything. If you did talk about who you're voting for, it was normally in a person-to-person setting, or if you talk to your friends over your phone on the phone about that, that was one thing. But you didn't go out there and okay, well, just we're gonna, you know what, everybody, this is a good time. If they're messing with me on YouTube, you can actually also go to the Rumble and subscribe to Random Topics. That's the actual channel. Random Topics is the actual channel. This is a good time for you all to go there and subscribe, so that way we don't have issues with the YouTube or anyone else. Or you go to my X account right now, those of you that are on X, and you can follow me there, because X is actually, and you may have issues with Elon Musk, but I can say this: X is not doing, when it was formerly Twitter, they were censoring a lot of black content creators. They were also censoring, I'll say this too, they were also censoring conservative creators, content creators, which they do. But you can go ahead and subscribe there, follow me on X, and we can talk. Now, this is, so yeah, man, this is the second assassination of Donald Trump attempt on President Trump, former President Trump. So how does this relate to the election? Now, you have had two incidents where violence has been used to silence a former president. Do I think that this is going to help him in any way, shape, or form? The answer, maybe. You know, back in July, and I think around that time, Kamala Harris, if I'm not mistaken, she wasn't picked yet to be the candidate at that moment, because I think it was, no, what, I stand corrected. It was around June, late June or early July, when she did get selected. And I say selected because she did not get the primary votes in which to, because she did not win the primary. No one voted for her to become president. They were voting for Biden. But Biden drops out and she becomes the candidate. They forced that onto everyone. Now, they've said she surged everywhere in the states, but if you look at some different polls, and I've done different polls, they show how biased the polls are, because even in other pollings that I saw, she was losing in key swing states. Georgia, now it's been neck and neck from what I've seen, even the New York Times reported it. But I can tell you this much, especially, I don't see Kamala Harris. I can tell you for that, I don't see her winning Georgia. I know that, yeah, Biden won Georgia the last time. Of course, that 2020 magic was there, if you dig my meaning. But I can't see, especially now with the current climate that we're in, that happens again. Or even in Nevada, or even in Michigan might be a different story. But you also got Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, where he had his first attempt. Now, I think he's going to win Pennsylvania. I have a feeling he will win Pennsylvania. I have a feeling he will win Georgia. I think, especially with this stuff, with the Pennsylvania, with the fracking issue, that's one thing. But, where Trump made a lot of mistakes in, he didn't really go in on her. Especially, now he did say one thing, well, you're the vice president now. But he didn't go in on her. Especially, I would have gone in, since she said, when she called him a liar and a cheat, I would have talked about the fact, weren't you the same woman who said you were smoking weed, listening to Snoop Dogg in 1987? That would have been a good way to shut that up. Because she said she was smoking weed, listening to Snoop Dogg while she was in college, and Snoop Dogg and Tupac weren't even around. Now, that assassination, this attempt, I think, getting to the attempt, it can help him in a way, because now this happened in Florida. So obviously we know Florida's a red state. There are going to be a lot of people supporting Trump. I think a lot of people are frustrated with the direction of Joe Biden, and some people don't know and trust Kamala Harris. A lot of black people don't. I saw a lot of people are tired of the Democrats. Former Democrats are leaving. Look at Bobby Kennedy. Look at Tulsi Gabbard. There are others, and as it relates to black men in particular, they're frustrated. Do you know that up in Chicago, it was reported that they have a $1 billion deficit. I don't know how a city can get $1 billion deficit. Now, I want to show you this. Oh, a budget gap. I apologize. Maybe I said it correctly. It's a budget gap. That's the actual term. I don't want to say deficit like they're in debt. But nevertheless, if you're talking about a budget gap, now you look at Brandon Johnson. That's Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. He's only been mayor, I think, for 2 years. And already, I would say coming into he's in his sophomore year, and he looks like a deer in headlights. He looks like a teacher that's lost control of his classroom. Johnson did not rule out a property tax increase as the city grapples with a forecasted $982 million budget gap. How is that possible? City officials are forecasting a $982.4 million budget gap in the corporate fund, the city's main operating fund for 2025, more than $400 million more than last year's estimated deficit. The forecast accounts for expected decline in city revenue, including from the state's distributed personal property replacement tax, plus increased labor costs and other cost increases, according to materials distributed by budget officials. It also bakes in a $175 million Chicago Public Schools pension payment for non-teaching staff. The city shifted payment to be the school's district's responsibility under Mayor Lori Lightfoot, but the expense was not included in the school district's recent budget, one of several points of increasing tension between Johnson's administration and CPS CEO Pedro Martinez. All right. There was a freeze. I don't know what happened. Let's put my music back on. So yeah. So Chicago ends up facing a nearly $1 billion deficit. And this is a city that has primarily been run by Democrats. So why people ask me why you're not hard on the Republicans? That's why. You have a city that's been primarily run by Democrats. By Democrats. Yes, Republicans are no good too. I get it. Everybody jumps at that, but these are Democratic cities. Someone says, well, it's a Republican, you might be in a Republican state. Illinois is not a Republican state. California is not a Republican state. Even Louisiana, I would describe Louisiana more as a conservative state because actually a lot of people who are Democrats in Louisiana, they're conservative. They're blue dog Democrats. They don't like messing up. They love their social security. They don't want their taxes to be taxed heavily, but they certainly don't support. A lot of people are conservative. They don't like abortion. They don't like rainbow agendas. They don't care for that. They love their guns. They believe in God. Most people down here, this is reality. They believe in God. They're conservative. But they also have limits, and they're not against people getting certain stuff. We're not against necessarily, of course, they don't want their pension messed up, so they support stuff like that. Georgia can be, and sometimes Georgia is another example. I don't live in Georgia. I don't know the makeup. I know Louisiana being blue dog Democrat. Georgia, of course, yes, it has gone blue in a couple of presidential elections. It does happen. But when I look at Chicago, which is one of the largest cities in the United States, I think Chicago is the third largest city in the United States after New York and Los Angeles, respectively. Houston is fourth. The fact that you have a large populace like that and you have $1 billion deficit, I can't account for that. So I can see why you see people, especially at those press conferences, those city council meetings, that are ticked with Johnson, the administration, the city council, is because of this. And they want to give more money. Do you think with $1 billion deficit, you can afford to give free money to illegal migrants? $4,000, $5,000 a month. That's what's going on in New York. And I honestly think there's going to be a reckoning in November. I do believe there's going to be a reckoning. This is an interactive map. So I just want to get back to the shooting. So I think this necessarily is not going to, I don't think it's going to hurt Donald Trump. I don't know if it will help. I think people already know who they're going to vote for. And of course, it depends on what magic, and you know what I'm talking about, if you understand, is going to take place in 2024 like it did in 2021. But this is the map, it looks like, of where the incident occurred. So you have the golf course here. So these two different maps. So this is West. This is the president. This is the golf course. And I think here, according to this map, this is where the suspect was. So they said 300, 500, between 300 and 500 yards. So that might make that looks like it's a pretty long distance, but would he have been able to accomplish everything with the rifle he had or whatever? Probably not. I don't know what experience he had or what this person was thinking, but anybody could get a hit on a lucky day. It's possible. But I wanted to talk about that today. I see we have at least 18 people. Look, family, this channel is not monetized. Like I said again, if you want to support me, please feel free to do something to the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. Like I said before, the lines have already been drawn. I think people already know what direction they're going to go in terms of who they're voting for. I do think if something bad did happen to the former president, I'll put it this way, I think a lot of people will not be happy, especially with the outcome of that, because the other alternative is going to be what a lot of people don't want. And if this were to happen, that would probably be the end of that story, and this person would be president. Now, I want you to, if you have not, we're back. I know they froze us, to go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button for me. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you would, please send an email if you'd like to advertise. We are promoting businesses. Hit the notification bell. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. And I'm going to see you all next one. I'm going to get out of here. This wasn't going to be a long stream. We just had one thing to talk about. So we're going to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you all in the next one. Shout out to some subscribers I haven't seen in a while or ever seen before, like Michelle Ivy Jordan. Shout out to her, Chana B, Danielle Meyer, D. Bob Jr., Danielle Phantom Beat. Yeah, I know they froze me. They try to mess with this channel. They definitely are, but we still here. Esther Perryman, shout out to you. And Computer Robots and Bookie. Mikia Major, Catalia, all of y'all, all right? Y'all be safe. Be one, be blessed. My black family, my B1 family. We have, it's almost 7 o'clock. Monday is tomorrow. We're going to be going back to, people going to be going back to work, trying to get back to normal since we had this Hurricane Francine that came. Luckily, it didn't give a lot of damage. But guys, make sure if you have not, get your Second Amendment game stepped up just in case. Get your Second Amendment game stepped up. I got some videos I think I'm going to try and get out and put out tomorrow. Especially, I got a comment about this Angela Rye. I don't know if anybody saw Angela Fry. Angela Rye, I was watching the Breakfast Club, and I don't follow Breakfast Club too much, but I saw the clip of her with Jill Stein, and Angela Rye, was really being unprofessional on that, which is not a surprise. Angela Rye is a known Democratic shield. So anything with the Democrats, she's going rubber stamp. I had a friend of mine, y'all know Brother Ron Hurd, who actually had an interaction with her when she was the editor of a certain newspaper. Ron had an article, and Ron told me the story that she killed the newspaper. And if I'm not mistaken, Ron said the reason why was because it was a negative on a Democratic candidate. It was put the candidate, or I think the party, in a negative light, which of course we know if it's anything anti-Democrat, she's not going to support. So these people are not for your salvation. No man is. You go to another man begging for freedom, you'll get nothing, like Malcolm X said. But anyway, we're going to get out of here, guys. It's been great. Y'all make sure to smash up the likes. How you doing, one who cares? We are wrapping it up right now. I see you here. But yeah, the PayPal, the Zelle, or Venmo directly, guys. Support the channel. Please support me. I appreciate it if you can. If not, that's fine. All right. B1, be safe and be blessed. I'm gonna roll up out of here yet, man. But yeah, I think we're gonna get more details on this would-be assassin that's coming out. Of course, they're probably going to make him a sympathetic character like they did the shooter in Georgia that shut up that high school. But we're gonna see, family. All right. Danielle, hope you're doing good. Good to see you. See a lot of my people on here, man. New faces. All right. Let's get out of here, guys. B1, be